Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make a very simple granny square diamond top. So this is a very good project for scrap yarn, and I will be taking you through the steps of how to make this beautiful top. So I have my scrap yarn here, different colors. You can choose any colors of your choice, but I'm going to be very close to my inspirational photo as you've seen at the beginning of the video, and we shall be able to get something very close to that image. So these are the colors that I'll be using. I have already done a granny square here. I have this yellow, pink, white, pink, red, and black. If you want to follow the same exact color scheme, just have these colors around and you will play around with them and get something very close to what we have in our inspirational photo. So we are using a 3.5mm crochet hook, and then a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and a measuring tape. So let's get started. Starting off with our very first color. This is the yellow color for me. I'm going to start with a magic ring. Just roll over your yarn like this, and then insert your hook under this loop and grab this one, pull through, and then hold, remove your fingers, and make a chain of one. That chain of one doesn't count as anything, it's just to secure the magic ring. So you see how I'm holding my yarn? You're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as your very first double crochet. Place 2 more double crochets into the magic ring, 1 and 2. So that's a total of 3 double crochets. Chain 1, 3 double crochets into the magic ring, 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, 3 double crochets into the magic ring, 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and this is going to be our last group of 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. So we have a total of 4 groups of 3 double crochets in this magic ring. What we are going to do, we are going to get this tail and pull it and make sure it's entirely closed, just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 1 and slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. So insert your hook into the top of the first chain 3 and slip stitch, just like that. You should be having a total of 4 chain 1 spaces. There's this one, this one, this one. It may not be that visible, but it comes in every after 3 stitches, and this one. So after this, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. We're going to be using 1 color per round. Okay, so this is what we have. Now we're going to go on to our next color. For me, that will be the white color. And as you can see, for my next yarn, I'm using a double strand just to match the thickness of my first color. Since this is scrap yarn, feel free to use whatever yarn of your choice, but make sure that the thickness is very close. So we're going to attach our yarn in the chain 1 space right before the loose end at the end of the previous round. So insert your hook into the chain 1 space and attach using a chain. Make sure it's tight enough, and then make your chain of 3. That chain of 3 will count as a double crochet. Now you're going to go into the same exact space with 2 more double crochets, so that will count as 3 double crochets. And then make a chain of 2 and 3 more double crochets into the chain 1 space. The same chain 1 space, 1, 2, and 3. So that's a shell. That will create a shell. For this pattern, a shell is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now you're going to make a chain of 1 and place a shell into the next chain 1 space after skipping 3 double crochets. So you yarn over, go into the chain 1 space with a shell, which is 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. Just like that. Chain 1, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain 1 space, which is this one, you're going to place a shell. So 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space, 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, skip over 3 stitches, and into the next chain 1 space, which is this one right here, you're going to place a shell, and this will be our last shell of this round. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So for this round, each chain 1 space has received a shell, and once you get done with this, you're going to make a chain of 1 and slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. Just like that, and you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. As I had mentioned earlier on, we are making only 1 round of each color. So we are done with our white color. For our next color, I'll be using the red color. So you're going to start off with a slip knot, and you're going to attach in the chain 1 space right behind this tail at the end of the previous round. So into the chain 1 space, you're going to attach your yarn, and then make a chain of 3. Into the same exact space, you're going to place 2 more double crochets. So that's the fact that this is a chain 1 space, it will only get 3 double crochets, which is the chain 3 and the 2 more double crochets. After that, you're going to make a chain of 1, and into the chain 2 space, each chain 2 space gets a shell, and as I had mentioned earlier on, a shell is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, go into the next chain 1 space with 3 double crochets. So each chain 1 space gets 3 double crochets. Chain 1, don't forget to always chain 1 in between. And then into the chain 2 space, each chain 2 space gets a shell, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Chain 1, in the chain 1 space, you're going to place 3 double crochets. This is a chain 1 space, and each chain 1 space gets only 3 double crochets, just like this. Chain 1. The next one is a chain 2 space, so it will get a shell, because each chain 2 space gets a shell, and a shell is 3 double crochets. Chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Just like that. You're going to make a chain of 1. This is a chain 1 space, so it will get 3 double crochets. And the next one is a chain to space. So you'll make a chain of 1 and place a shell into the last chain to space of the round. So a shell is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. So the chain to spaces are the ones creating the corners of the square. Once you're done with this, you're going to make a chain of 1 and slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. Insert your hook and pull through all. Then you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So that marks the end of round 3. And round 3 is the one that has explained everything. So we're going to go on to our next color. I'm going to bring back my white color, just so that I can explain this a little bit better with a color that you can see clearly. So you attach your yarn in the chain 1 space right before the tail of the previous row. Attach your yarn there. Then make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. Into the same space, you're going to make 2 more double crochets to make a total of 3 double crochets, just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, and this is a chain 1 space, and each chain 1 space gets 3 double crochets. Chain 1, this is a chain 2 space, which is the corner of the granny square. So each chain 2 space gets a shell, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. So you can see what that is creating. And then from here, you're going to make a chain of 1 and 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. And you're going to keep repeating that until you get to the chain 2 space. So chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and you're going to place a shell into the next chain 2 space. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. From here, you're going to make a chain of 1, and this is a chain 1 space, so it will get 3 double crochets. You should notice that we are not going into the stitches, we are just going into the spaces. Chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, this is a chain 2 space, so it will get a shell. So you're just going to go ahead and work your pattern just as I had explained earlier on. And I'm placing my last shell into the last chain 2 space of the round. And from here, you're going to make a chain of 1 and slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round, just like that. Then you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So that's the round that we're going to keep repeating. You'll notice that your granny square will keep getting bigger, and the number of groups of 3 double crochets in between the shells will keep increasing. That's the only way that your granny square will start growing. As you can see on round 2, we didn't have any group of 3 double crochets in between the shells. As you can see here, we have a shell here and a shell here. Now at round 3, we have one group of 3 double crochets in between the shells. At round 4, you have a total of 2 groups of 3 double crochets in between the shells. Now that means round 5, you'll have a total of 3 groups of 3 double crochets in between the shells, and that's how you're going to keep growing your granny square until, as you can see here, I have my very first square here. You're going to keep working until this length. You're going to place your granny square like this, and you're going to take a measurement across like this, and you're going to make sure this can stretch to approximately the center of your bust to the line of the armpit to the side of your body, so that this can entirely cover one side of your bust. So this mine can stretch to about 9.5 inches, approximately 9 inches. I don't want to overstretch it, but you're going to make sure that this can stretch to the length between the mid bust to the armpit. You can see this from the armpit level up to the mid bust. That's the measurement that we considered to get the number of rows that we ended up doing for our granny squares. Now for me, I did a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 rounds for each granny square, which gave me that measurement that I was looking for from the center bust all the way to the armpit level. And you're going to go ahead and make a total of 4 granny squares. So you're going to make 3 more of these. And just as I had explained in this granny square, you're going to do the same exact process. You can see that colors changed here because I had to explain with lighter colors, but this is the same exact procedure that I followed to make all the 4 granny squares. And once you make your very first one and determine that length that I have talked about, then you're going to just go ahead and make 3 more to this level. And for me, I'm following the same exact kind of color scheme for the inspirational photo. So I'm going to just go ahead and use the black color on the boundary, but you can use any color of your choice. And then I'll meet you back when you have that ready and we see what to do next. Alright guys, now that the granny squares are finished, this is how I've decided to arrange mine. You can use the same exact color combination that I've used. Now I'm going to thread my darning needle with the boundary color. You won't be able to see what I'm doing because this is a black color going onto a black boundary, but basically we're going to join from the corner the chain 2 space. I'm going to go in there with 2 times just to secure my yarn. You can even go ahead and make a knot at this point where you're starting from, and then you're going to go into each and every stitch from this side all the way across to this side, and then you'll do the same exact thing from here all the way across here. So I'm going to just speed through that. Just go into each stitch and each chain 1 space, each stitch, each of the 3 stitches here, and the chain 1 spaces. So just to explain what's going on, you're going to go into the first stitch here and attach it to the opposite side, and then the next stitch, and then the next stitch, and then you'll go into the chain 1 space of the granny square. So I know you can't see this clearly, but you're just going to go into the stitches and the chain 1 spaces, joining your granny squares. So just as you can see here, the granny squares are joined here. So I'm going to go all the way across And then you're going to join the chain to space at the corner, just like that. And then you're going to join the two corners here in the chain to space with the same exact yarn. But this time you're going to join 2 times. Just like that. And then continue to join the stitches as well as the chain 1 spaces on the opposite side. So in the chain to space, you will join 2 times and then leave that tail there. And we're going to go ahead and join this section as well, the same exact way that we've done this one. Alright guys, after joining your granny squares, this is what you're going to have. Now we're going to turn our work onto the back side and we're going to start weaving in the tails. This is going to be a personal preference. I'm going to just go ahead and tie the loose ends wherever 2 colors meet. As you can see here, I have a pink and black. I'm just going to make a double knot and cut off the loose end. Wherever 2 colors meet, I'm going to just make a knot, a double knot, and then cut off the excess. That's the reason why I was joining right behind the loose end of the previous color when I was making my granny square pattern while switching colors. So wherever 2 colors meet, create a double knot and cut your yarn. So this is going to be the back side of your project, where we're going to have those loose ends. So this is optional. You can even use a darning needle if you wish. But for me, I'll use this method. The darning needle will come in when I weaving in this tail of the very first color. Make sure you use a darning needle for that one. The one off the magic ring, make sure you use a darning needle and go in and out of a few stitches so that you secure this, because once this unravels, then you've lost the granny square. So just pay attention to it and make sure you just don't cut it off, because it's the foundation of the granny square. You have to weave it in and then cut the loose end after weaving it in. So let's see what we have right now. You can see the back side of this granny square in particular is very neat, and also the back side is neat as compared to these ones. So we're going to just go ahead and do the same exact thing for those ones, and then we shall come back and see what to do next. All right, guys, so we are done with the general shape, and this is the back of the top. You can see the loose ends are not showing that much as they were before. So this is the clean side of the piece. So for me, this is the topmost granny square, and I'm going to make a long chain. This time I'm going to use a double strand of this black yarn and make a slip knot. And I'm going to make a long chain of about 100 chains. This is just a simple chain. I'm going to make a chain of 100, and I'll be back to show you what that is going to do. Alright guys, instead of 100 chains, I ended up with 200 chains because I want to make this one chain to come from the neck all the way to the side lace up of the top. So I ended up doing a total of 200 chains, and I'll make a chain of 1 and cut my yarn, pull through, and you're going to fold this chain into half. So here where we folded our chain, we're going to pass it through the topmost granny square, the one that's going to be on the uppermost part of our top. Pull through that loop just like this, and then pull through the 2 strands like that, and then pull just like this. And now we have 2 strands, one on this side, one on this side. So you're going to turn your work over to the back side, and you're going to crisscross. This is going to be your neck, so it goes around the neck like this, and then it crisscrosses to the side, this corner of this granny square, pull through, and then the corner of this granny square, and pull through this one. So just like that, we are done with our top. These chains are going to tie at the back of the top just like this, and then you're going to get rid of these loose ends on your top, and let's see the final look of our top. Alright guys, this is how our top has turned out, and you can go ahead and line it. That's totally optional. You can leave it as it is, or you can go ahead and line it. But this is the fitting that we've got. You can see this from the armpit level up to the mid bust. That's the measurement that we considered to get the number of rows that we ended up doing for our granny squares. Now for me, I did a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 rounds for each granny square, which gave me that measurement that I was looking for from the center bust all the way to the armpit level. So this is what the top looks like. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you in my next video, which we shall be doing the matching skirt for this beautiful top. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.